Hey DOT community, this is another episode of the DOT Aftershow with Zalon and Bo. How we doing, Bo?
Excellent, Zalon. How are you today?
Oh, not too bad, but a little impatient, because I'll tell
Yeah,
you, I thought we were going to do a live stream today, but
yeah. I was all geared up to do a live stream, and
I,
then no.
I know. So, as you can see here in the top right, it's 2:46 p.m. in the afternoon. I did not see this on Facebook until others notified me about it. So when it came down to it, yeah, it was announced 50 minutes ago, but there was no tweet or anything. I was kind of watching Twitter more than I was Facebook in this matter, but they apologized for the miscommunication regarding the start of the Toxic Bulwark event, but the event will start tomorrow. So I have to wonder on some of the other things that we're about ready to talk about in the after show here, that if this is going to push things in next week's order of events. So,
Huh.
because one thing I'll say
Yeah, I
right,
don't.
right off the bat is the Monday's Titans Unleashed Champions event, which I know a lot of people are waiting for a new fusion event to happen, especially if it's since a lot of people have the new Hades and they would like to level up Hades and also level up Hell.
Yep.
But with it being a champions oriented Titans Unleashed, I know a lot of people will want to be working on their Hades and Poseidon. So anyway, with that said, I don't know if that's still going to happen on Monday with the event being bumped another day, unless this event is going to be only a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, and it may just be a shorter event with a lower souls total.
Yeah. Well, what they showed us on the live stream, the soul totals were a lot lower than normal anyway, just because they said this was going to be a little bit more of a laid back event due to the fact that we just had quite a grand time with the
Yeah,
two Halloween events, which
they've been
again,
hitting us pretty hard here lately, so it'd be
most
nice to have a low one.
most definitely.
Unless they say no boosts, and then it ends up being the same. So
Yeah. Well, currently, right now, we are in a troop craft for the Imperials, and the one thing I do want to jump into about this troop craft for the Imperials is the fact that they are using these troop crafts as ways
yeah,
to more or less direct the meta. So they're trying something right now. So as you can see in the last couple days here, we've had 70% more armor to the Imperials. Of course, obviously, they're giving us a upgrading cost and a Elithan Palace decreased cost as well. So they're just trying something out for the Imperials. So this is now looking like what we're and also too when they did show the event. I know a lot of people were assuming that this week was going to be an ice event because of the troop craft, but the event is
yeah.
a Maku event, so it's
I
a poison event. But anyway, so it really didn't dictate at all this time around. But with this troop craft, I put down in the comments below. Do you think this is really changing the Imperials? But what do you think, Bo?
well, I mean, so I like it when they do things like this because it gives them the opportunity to gather some data and analyze, and maybe people will start using Imperials that previously didn't use Imperials
Okay.
for whatever reason.
Hmm.
I like that, and I don't. I mean, they could take that and then make a decision. Do we need to make the change permanent, or do we need to make a permanent change that's maybe not quite so much armor, or maybe more armor? Who knows?
Hmm.
So yeah, I like it. I like it.
So we also, besides from that, of course, talk about the troop craft and the most recent Halloween events. They did talk about a lot about the 1.28 update that's coming out, which is
I
exciting.
got it. I got it this morning.
We got the 1.27 update. The 1.28 is being launched next week.
No, I already had 1.27. Oh, okay. Never mind. I got the 1.27 little tiny update
Yeah,
that
yeah,
came
yeah.
out with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's
okay.
what happened. We got the extra the update that that was talked about previously, which is only changing some very minor things in the game. Right
Yeah,
now, obviously, with the 1.28 update that's coming out, they are making sure because the 2.7 they said that was going to stop the spell glitch and
yeah.
stop a few other like minor bugs as well. But for the most part, the 2.7 didn't seem to come out with too many groundbreaking things, and it was very light. But with the 1.28 coming out next week, they said that there's going to be Android first, obviously iOS second. The Garrison down here on the bottom, right down here, when you're in your castle view, I also don't know if that also is going to be when you're outside here, like kind of flying around the full view outside of your castle, if it'll also be active. But they down there will be either a little shield to show that you're shielded, or it'll have a little flame because you're being attacked, or it'll be just the way you see down there right now, which would mean that you're neither shielded nor being attacked. So those are the three options. So
yeah, that's actually really good. It wasn't too long ago that suggestion was made, and so now they're implementing it fairly quickly. And I know that's important because a lot of times you're on your Garrison, you're poking around. What do I need to upgrade? How much? Just this, that, the other thing, and all of a sudden you got attacked and you didn't know it, or your shield is about to expire, and you're kind of waiting on that before you do something. So it would be nice to know when the shield expires. That way you can just go start attacking at that point. Really good job. I like it. Yeah.
So let's see. I'm gonna go in with Poseidon. He's super low level, but that's why. And I'm gonna play around with some Imperials here. But I just wanted to go into a ping pong land, so I'm not gonna blow the battle while we do this while we all discuss this and But anyway, so. With that said, we also got, they talked about the summoning on defense in the 1.28 update is going to be better, which is very exciting because they say the summon spells are going to drop a lot faster, which is going to be really cool.
Be good.
Yeah.
That'll be because you don't really see all the Omega troops unless you get into a prolonged battle. If it's a battle that's going to be really quick, sometimes it can be over before the troops drop at all. So if you're going to have those Titans on defense, I feel like at least one of them should drop like almost right away, and then the other one should drop around 30 seconds or so, and then beyond that, maybe every 30 seconds. But I think now you got to wait 30, 45 seconds before the first one drops.
Exactly. So I think summoning on defense, they realize that it's pretty much a joke, and that nobody is that summoning Titans are basically nothing at all for defense, and that everybody should just be using them for offense only. So I think that's why they're trying. I don't know if this will, really succeed in the fact that everyone's going to start putting summoning Titans on defense, but they're trying to make it more of a defensive option. So
yeah,
we will see. Besides from that, new icons for units on the map. We've actually kind of seen that a little bit already. I don't know if you've noticed for the summoning troops, but when you're about to summon a summoning troop, their specific icon actually comes up.
I saw that.
That's already been implemented, but there's going to be new icons for I think all the troops, and I think that's how they're going to separate the skeletons from I think it's militia. Yeah, skeletons and militia. When you select skeletons, militia are also selected, and I think that's why they're going to actually have their own separate icon now, so that you don't have that issue. Which I agree with. I think that's a great idea. So
yeah, it hasn't really been an issue for me though. I mean, I use skeletons and militia all the time, and I actually kind of like the fact that it's all of them when you do double click on, it's not that big of a deal. But, I'm sure some people would.
When you're trying to manage your battle, sometimes you want to separate, sometimes you really do want to separate them out. So, but anyway, so let's see. Let's just do this. They also said included the monuments, rangers, and berserkers. They're also
finally,
which is awesome. Although they said different 3-star, 2-star, 1-star for each class. Now I asked multiple times in the stream for all of you that were watching and saw me asking multiple times in the stream. I wanted to know if they're coming out with a 2-star berserker. Now they say for each class. So I guess that means they're going to have a 2-star berserker in the monument. So I'm assuming that means they have to release one, because I don't know of any that are actually in game right now.
I think they kind of preface that with pretty much, they quote unquote pretty much one for each class. So, they may have covered themselves there.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get too excited, everybody.
Sometimes these guys are they're like weathermen, right? They always use these modifiers so if they're wrong, they said, well, I didn't say definitely, I said chance of, or I said partly, or I said,
that's right.
something like that. So,
oh no, Imperials.
oh, must be pretty intense there.
I'm sorry. I'm just making.
Changing.
Yeah. Relic capacity still struggling, but they're not changing it for anybody. But the thing is, they're making sure that a lot of players. I'm not seeming to have too much of an issue right now because I'm still fluctuating in like the 430 zone. I did get rid of a lot of 3 stars, so that did help. So I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much gotten to where I'm only keeping 1 3-star. I was keeping like 3 stars before of each one, just because you didn't know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's like, yeah, I really don't need that. So my relic inventory space has gotten, it's cleared out a lot, and especially when you can, especially the 4 stars, because you can now. There's a lot of them. It's like, okay, now I know what the skills are. I don't really need 5 of these, right?
Exactly.
And it's a whole lot easier now to say, this 4-star is good for food because at least I know I'm getting credit for it, and it's not just a chance that I'm going to fail 80% forge fail, which is horrible, or was horrible.
Now, another thing that they did mention, because a lot of people on the live stream were talking about infiltrators. A lot of people were so interested about infiltrators, fixing infiltrators, doing stuff. Now, Quiff mentioned a couple times that 1.28 is going to have some sort of fixes for infiltrators as well.
Okay.
So that's some interesting info right there.
One of the things that infiltrators do is a lot of times they'll run right up to the troop and then stop and then swing, and it's like, why are they doing that? So I hope they fix that.
Yeah,
because they should get a running start and then swing into the troops when they get there, not stop and reset. Before they hit their, make their first strike. The whole point of infiltrators.
On their intended target. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, most definitely. So I'm hoping those changes are made as well. Besides for the Titans Unleashed on Monday, they also mentioned about another temple takeover, which I would assume would have been on like Tuesday and Wednesday, and then they said a leaderboard event on Thursday, but they're not discussing anything about it, so we don't really have too many clues on next week's leaderboard. But with this week's being an Alliance leaderboard, this is an Alliance leaderboard. So
yes, it is.
To those that stayed this long in the video, yes, it is confirmed it's Alliance leaderboard, even though we haven't really seen the event yet. So, which means next week, if there's no 2-day event, there's no 2-day solo, we haven't seen any of those for a little while, but we're not getting like a solo event during the week, so the chances of next weekend's event being a possible solo event isn't too crazy, okay?
Yeah, it could be, definitely.
So, I mean, I do want to put that idea out there because they did mention after a lot of just talking about this week and next week, they did also mention a bunch of things that are going to be here in the near future. Because now that the Halloween events are over, a lot of people are looking for the next major milestone of this year.
Right, so this is the segment where we talk about the world of tomorrow.
Yes. That's right. So, a lot of questions were answered in the live stream, which was pretty awesome, and I really was happy to see that. I just realized this is a level 40 Mataris, so I probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Even that's a Pong land, I probably shouldn't do that. I won't have the concentration to obviously finish this at the same time. So anyway, Wukong, well, there's a couple things. Quiff avoided answering the will hell be a once-a-year Titan question. What do you think about that, Bo?
Well, I mean, she's got 2 things going against her. 1, she was a Halloween event Titan. 2, she is a Greek god.
Mm-hmm.
So, they have brought the Norse gods back around, one time.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them anyway. We don't know if they're going to bring the Greek gods back around, but with hell being Halloween, maybe 6 months down the road, because, they brought Calvarax back early. So
Yeah.
they could do the same thing with Hell because they've kind of set a precedent. And Hell is actually a really good Titan, and people that didn't get her are like, "Oh no, I didn't get her." And then they had the the snafu with time change on the servers. It ended the event early and all that. So who knows? Who knows? They very well could, but didn't they say not anytime soon or something along those lines?
Pretty much, because
Yeah.
obviously Hell was just released one way or the other. Whether it was, I mean, they did the compensation package, so in their minds they did right for the interim time. But yes, may they consider bringing Hell back again before a next year? It sounds like it's still a possibility. So not to throw it past that. But also too, they did mention that Wukong. Well, this is how they answered the Wukong question. They pretty much said they're gonna have another Chinese New Year, and as everybody saw with how the Halloween event ran, we had Calvarax and Astaroth brought back for it was a Zalon prediction. I'm not gonna tiptoe around it. I said Calvarax was coming back at 11K, and they were gonna bring out another Titan later on. Now, obviously, I did not predict they were gonna have two events and do the same thing with Astaroth. Makes sense though.
Right.
But they said that Wukong will be back, and if we paid attention to the Halloween events, we could see the pattern. Well, pattern is Wukong will be back 10, 11, 12K, and then we'll see a new Chinese New Year, Titan. So that's what it sounds like at this point, because that's pretty much more or less confirmed with the way they were talking on that. Matt's new feature. Now, this is something that's been going on for a little while now, and I personally asked on the live stream about Matt's new feature all the time, because it always constantly, whenever they're talking about campaigns, whenever they're talking about Adventure Guild, whenever they're talking about TOW, because they brought that up too, and then Matt came up again for a second time in this live stream about his new feature. And so, again, it doesn't sound like TOW is being worked on right now. It doesn't sound like campaigns are being worked on right now. But whatever this new feature that Matt's working on, that he said will be released early next year, which for me means January, February, early next year. I think it's something that they're going to really try to push after the new year, because they're going to say, all right, how are we going to launch off this year, and how are we going to keep the players saying 2019 is still Dawn of Titans for me, And I think that's why they're waiting until after these other couple things that they're trying to do in the meantime, which would be, they said there's an American holiday coming up soon, implying Thanksgiving for all the people in the around the globe. That's happens pretty close to the end of this month, so we still have.
We're gonna have a Benjamin Franklin Titan. He's gonna be throwing turkeys at people.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, anyway. But yeah, so it's still a couple weeks off until Thanksgiving in the U.S. actually happens, the holiday. But the one thing with that holiday that I keep on always mentioning is Black Friday is, that's like a shopping holiday for the world, I would say at this point, because that's just the way it is. But anyway, besides horrible commercialism, Black Friday for mobile games also means there's almost every mobile game out there that offers some kind of shop is usually offering deals on Black Friday, and Dawn of Titans is exactly the same. Last year they did have one of the best gem deals I've ever seen at 35% discount. It might have been higher, but I'm pretty firm on that 35% discount. So I think it was 60,000 gems for $64.99. But we will see what they do this year. Hopefully it'll be pretty awesome. But after that holiday, after that Thanksgiving holiday, whatever event they try to wrap into that, along with the Black Friday, the thing is, right after that is about a week later is the first week of December is the 2-year anniversary of this game.
Yeah. Yep. So, that's right. 2 years, man.
I know, right? So with the 2-year anniversary of this game, they said they're going to have a huge live stream. They're going to have a ton of prizes. They're going to have they're going to do a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So they said, if you were around for last year's 1-year anniversary, they did give away free stuff, not just on the live streams, but in game to everyone. Now it's no 4-star Titans. immediately we're all getting 4 stars. No, we're not getting 4 stars, everybody. All right, it's just not gonna happen. But there are good stuff that the devs do throw it around during the anniversaries, and especially for 2 years, they might do a little bit bigger and better than last year. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. Also, I'm sorry. I deviated a little off of Matt's new feature. Sorry. The whole thing with Matt's new feature, though, of early next year, and I just want to say he said it was going to be some sort of new type of battles. So I'm thinking that's what that whole TOP may be going to the wayside, and it may be morphing into whatever this new, maybe it's a new game mode, more or less, if you want to call it that is being added to Dawn of Titans. So that's what I'm thinking. Maidens will be added as base troops on islands. They did say that that's going to be something that they're going to try to do very quickly, very soon. Just for the simple fact that seems like a feature that they could add in some of these updates that happen, just the little updates that we're getting in between that have a lot of bug fixes that they could easily just throw in. Oh, hey, Maidens will be added to base troops on islands, They've also mentioned about pre-leveled Titans in rewards. Or offers. They said they're looking into that, so I don't know how exactly that's going to be implemented. They didn't really mention on how the implementation will be on that. Will it be offers? Will it be stuff that you get in season rewards? Stuff like that. Besides from that, they did mention about the Dory Relic fixed in 1.28. So there's an issue with the Dory Relic. I think when you select Titans and you're trying to equip the Dory Relic, it's not coming up for certain Titans. So I think it's that's being fixed. If I'm wrong on that, just let me know in the comments, because it hasn't been happening to me specifically. But and then also too, after I deviated after the 2-year anniversary, they will have the Christmas event. So, of course, just like they did last year between Christmas and New Year's, could we expect another 30K event? Very possible, because they know they may run the event for 10 or 11 days. Just because they know that a good majority of the world doesn't tend to work for those days in between Christmas and New Year's. Not saying that there aren't people that work, but there's a good portion of the working community that takes off for that week. So it does make sense. Also, they may be off. They might not be in the office for that week. You know what I mean? So, again, it does give them a little bit of a break to enjoy the holiday, to enjoy their families, but at the same time, so they can also get away with not having to produce, and be around to monitor, a lot of things. Instead, just have an event that runs the entire time. So, besides from that, they did also talk about some new player changes, of course, at the end. These new player changes, of course, are only affecting new players, which a majority of people that are watching the stream are not. Right. So a lot of that stuff, I know, does seem maybe a little bit... Oh, here's my hell. I'm just cruising through my Pantheon. My hell floats in the air, just so everybody knows. Because I don't have hell. Apparently, when you do get her... You do get her, though, she doesn't float in the air anymore. Okay. But anyway. So... With that said, with these new player changes, they did mention like a new calendar specifically for them, which I would assume would give them a little bit better, faster rewards. There does need to be a little bit of a faster induction process. I have played some games that within the last 6 months or so that are games that have been out for multiple years. It does feel like other games do the same thing after a certain point where they just have to ramp it up a little bit faster in the beginning, and it seems like you get a lot of stuff in the beginning that you wouldn't normally...
You think it's worth doing like a video or two on the new player stuff?
Experience? I don't know. I mean, we could definitely look into it. Let us know, DOT community, if you're interested in just seeing what the developers are doing for the new players, and you're not interested in creating a new account for yourself, obviously, maybe because you don't want to or just don't have the time for it. If you guys are interested in that, please let us know in the comments, and we'll see about doing that for you guys, because it will be interesting, because I know a lot of people are saying, like, we want more players to play this game because we enjoy it so much, so, please make a good experience so that those players would like to stay playing the game. And feel...
Yeah, so now watch that we've said that on this video. Like, tomorrow I go down, I'll have, like, 5 shotgun videos of new player stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll see. But that's pretty much everything I have that I had taken notes for it from the event from the dev live stream. And Bo and I will be back again tomorrow with a live stream for the event when it does drop. But besides from that, that's pretty much it. Bo, do you have anything else?
No, I don't. If you guys are just looking for some non-toxic stuff, we released a video yesterday on how to join the alliances on Zalon's channel, so go check that out.
Yes, and we will be referring back to that video for at least the time being. So, especially in live streams, when people are like, "Can I join your alliance?" You know what I mean, on the live stream, and I'm like, refer to the video. We're gonna keep going here. So, yeah. But anyway. So it was a lot of fun making that video, and it definitely was a good time, so definitely check it out. Also, too, if you are looking for a little bit of, since we don't have any grind stuff for today because the event hasn't started till tomorrow, so for longer videos, if you're looking for a super long live stream, go back to last weekend where I did my longest live stream ever.
Yeah, where you did your 4.5-hour video.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So if you want to get a good live stream, go back to that 4.5-hour live stream from last weekend. It's still one of my best, and I really enjoyed doing it.
Still processing?
No. Actually, it was ready the next day. It was actually ready the next day. But all right, we're wrapping up here. So thank you everybody for joining in. Make sure to leave the video a like. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe because otherwise you won't get all this wonderful DOT information. So
that's right.
For the non-toxic gamers, I am Zalon.
And I am Bo.
And we are signing off.